All right, welcome everybody to Red and Gold Generations podcast and YouTube channel. We got a great show for you today. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Mammon. This is my dad, Lawrence Mammon.
We're glad to have you folks today. Glad you're coming on.
We got Maddens Corner. We've got things from old. We've got everything. We've got a recap of the show. Stay tuned and hope you enjoy.
I don't know about our Chiefs, brother. They're kind of scaring me. They really are. And, I know they still haven't said anything, but so let me ask you a question. If they are not really giving us any solid news on Rice's injury, do you take that as a good thing or a bad thing?
It could go either way. So they could be trying to figure out what all's damaged. In other words, he could have multiple, he could have ACL, meniscus, he could have all sorts of injuries in that knee. Or they're not finding anything. They know it hurts and they want to make sure that there is absolutely no damage. So this literally could go either way. And I have no idea. Joe Mixon had the same sort of, I was reading that. Was it Joe Mixon? Yeah, I think it was Joe Mixon. Had the same sort of delay in what went wrong. And it was because he had more extensive damage.
Yeah, see, not being able to put weight on it concerned me a lot because when he went down, was he even able to hobble off? I don't remember if he walked off the field or.
No, they carted him off. And like with Madison's ACL tear, when they checked it, it was, they knew pretty much right off the bat. They were like, you have a torn ACL. And MRI confirmed it. So there's tests that you can do that manipulate it that show if it's separated or not.
Okay.
So the question is did they actually confirm it with physical therapy? Who knows?
Well, I guess we'll hear more today. I did not hear anything other than they were going to have some more tests today done. Did you hear anything this morning at all?
I haven't heard anything. I heard we won't know anything until next week, possibly.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So
I watched Andy's newscast yesterday afternoon, and he basically just said, well, he's out for the next game. And he wouldn't go past that. So sounds like Coach Reed, he's not going to tell you much.
I don't know. I don't know what I mean, it didn't look good, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I was looking at this kid's stats, and Rashee Rice, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he was leading the NFL in receiving yards and also yards after the carry or after the reception. So, man, he was on target.
What in the world was Mahomes thinking? Why was he even going in and trying to make it? He had his eyes closed. He literally had his eyes closed, running in there with his shoulder, eyes closed. I'm going to try and hit this guy. Missed him completely. Took out his own receiver.
And did you see him? You did it right. He led with his right shoulder.
Yeah.
What arm does he throw with?
I know. Just everything about that play, Mahomes wasn't thinking. And I mean, I know he's, he wasn't thinking about any of that. And I know he was just trying to stop a touchdown because he threw a pick, but
he was mad about the throw. I was listening to some of the commentary after the game, and evidently they pulled some defensive reads on him that he wasn't ready for. I didn't see that as he missed some kind of defensive read. It looked like to me that he just overthrew Travis very badly on that throw.
So that's interesting you say that, because that was one thing that I wanted to ask. was it an overthrown ball, or was it that Travis Kelce mistimed his jump? Or did Travis think that there was another receiver behind him? Because I don't know. I looked at that play a lot, and what I noticed is Travis went to kind of jump, didn't jump, and immediately turned around, like as if not, because Travis doesn't care if he gets hit. It was almost like he immediately turned around, like he thought he was like, maybe he's throwing it to someone else, right?
That's how far he missed Kelce.
Yeah.
So that's either him and Kelce weren't on the same page, or that was just a horrible throw. And this hasn't been Patrick's year so far. It hasn't been Travis's year. And yet this crazy team's 4-0. So I sat there and I watched the first quarter of that game, and I thought, this. You remember was it the Jacksonville Jaguars that we played in the playoffs a few years ago, and we went down 24-0, and we were all. It was Houston Texans. What we all sat there, we watched this team go down by 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and everybody's going, okay, well, we ready now? It wasn't any big deal. It was like, this team is so explosive. Even 10 points now, I'm beginning to wonder about this team. But
yeah, what is it about our defense in the very first drive? I mean, we are a top 3 defense, I think. And first drive of the game, it looks like we're not awake.
I don't know. It's always the first drive. In that first quarter, I think that's one of the worst quarters I've seen the Chiefs play. I know it is this year. Then you start out with the rookie. Nice pass to Travis, by the way. Nice to see Travis Kelce getting back in the swing of the passing game. Also, shout out to him, number 1 reception leader for the Kansas City Chiefs ever. Yeah. Tony Gonzalez, my hero way, way back then, and watched him for years and years. Just do a great job. I loved his dunking on the end zone or on the goalpost after he scored a touchdown. So, shout out to Travis. Looked much better. But right after that great throw down the sideline to him, you got Steele fumbling the ball. Then that next play, once the Chargers scored, then he throws that interception, and now you've possibly got Rashee Rice out for the rest of the year or longer. But the Chargers got that ball on the 20. I don't know that they got any further into the red zone. I know that was a 40-some yard kick. And after that, our defense said that's enough. And I don't think the Chargers even got close for the rest of the game. I mean, you're right. Once they got started, they shut down a very good running attack. From what I understand, the Chargers have one of the best running backs in the NFL right now.
Atlanta beat that Saints team.
They did. Was that a close game? That was a pretty close game, though, wasn't it? I mean, was that one of those last 2-minute drives again?
It was another last 2-minute drive by Kirk Cousins.
I know that there are some teams in the NFL, and I'm no expert on who's going to have the best team in the NFL, but the Minnesota Vikings, whenever they lost Kirk Cousins, I thought, well, they may have a problem, even though they got Justin Jefferson, and they got a pretty good ball club. This Sam Darnold, pretty awesome quarterback, evidently.
I was watching him play the other day, and he scrambles well, is what he does. And he's a lot like Mahomes, where he's not just super fast, but I watched that game, and he kept looking for his receivers. And then, when they were covered, he'd take off and he'd break that defense back by getting a 3rd and 5 or a 2nd and 6. Is a killer for teams right there.
It is. Do you know where he came from? I've heard his name, but I don't know anything about his background.
Nope, I have no idea.
I'll tell you something else. You heard this name, Jaden Daniels?
Who's that?
The Washington Commanders' new QB. Yeah, that kid, over 80% completion percentage in the NFL already, and he's just starting his career.
And they're taking off too. They're beating some
another team. Oh, are the Commanders playing the Cowboys next?
I don't know about next, but they
Oh.
got to be playing them soon because that's their, that's in their division.
Rival. Well, Cowboys are another conundrum. I don't know. I don't know what it's. Remember the Chiefs? Whenever you never knew which Chiefs team was going to show up.
Yeah, I don't understand it. They had such a good team last year, and they don't have too much of a different personnel wise,
Oh.
and just a completely different team this year.
Well,
their defense can't get anybody off the field.
No, it's so good to have a good defense again. What was it back in the early '90s? You had Derek Thomas on one side, Neil Smith on the other side. Yeah, those were the days that the Kansas City defense, you knew that they were going to do a good job. Now, the offense had more of a horizontal attack than a vertical attack. But speaking of vertical, how about that bomb to Xavier Worthy?
It's good to see it because we need to be able to show that we can take the top off of a defense. So that was huge. And did you know that was the longest throw, air yards, by Patrick Mahomes in his career?
Really? No, I figured that one that he threw down in Atlanta early in his career to Tyreek Hill was the longest.
No. Now, this is what I was reading on the internet. So, I mean,
Right.
this is not confirmed, but I mean, it was one of the podcasts that I can't remember which podcast I was watching that on. But yeah, they were saying that it was his longest air yards, not necessarily touchdown throw, but yeah, longest air yards completion in his career.
So I'm assuming that was the fastest run of the day. But you know who had the second fastest run of the day from what I heard on statistics?
Who?
Derrick Henry. That opening run,
87 yards.
Hammered the Bills. But yeah, he was like over 21 mile an hour. So was Worthy. But Derrick Henry, can you imagine trying to step in front of a man like that running 21 mile an hour?
Well, they didn't. He ran all the way into the end zone.
Nobody caught him. That was another game that I was shocked at the outcome. Several of them this last weekend that I was shocked at the outcome. Just some good teams that just didn't play well and got run off the field. I don't remember a game that the Chiefs have been run off the field for several seasons now. I remember a Tennessee game here 2 or 3 years ago that the Titans came into Arrowhead and it was like 35-7 or that kind of margin. But I don't remember the Chiefs being out of a game early for a long, long time.
No, but we got to talk about that Worthy bomb. One,
yes,
I mouthed off to Worthy the week before, so a little apologies to Xavier Worthy. One way to shut me up is, catch you up. That arm was draped over him, pass interference, and he caught the ball. So, I mean, like, doubly wow. And he converted a big-time third down conversion.
There you go. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up. Yeah, that's how many times we even talked about it whenever we were texting each other in that game. What's going to happen to the Chiefs right here toward the end of the game when they can put it away?
Yeah.
And we let the other team have the ball back. And there's your man Xavier catching the third and long, and boom, we got the ball.
I will say, if you would have put your Bolton jersey on sooner, you would have won that game by a lot. So if everyone doesn't know, I'm talking to the audience here for a second. Right before that play, Dad said, I should put my Bolton jersey on. It wasn't 30 seconds later that bomb to Xavier Worthy happened. And then Dalton put his jersey on. And then I put my jersey on.
Yep.
We need to start games like that. Our fault, Kansas City Chiefs fans. That was on us.
Yep. Not going to happen again. Yep.
We shall remember to put on the jerseys a little sooner in the game.
Shoot, I've thought about wearing this jersey down to my alma mater this weekend. It's our big 50th, coming up our 50th reunion. And in my senior year, I wore number 32. And that's why I've followed Mr. Bolton. But the other reason I follow him immensely is that guy is talented. Take a look at what he did in this game again. I mean, he just seems to be all over the field. I bet Drew Tranquil enjoyed popping some people in this game.
Oh, yeah. Former Charger.
Yeah.
Did you know? So his grandpa apparently fell at the Charger Stadium and died from it.
I heard something, the announcer said something about that. I don't know if it was Tony or Jim, though we're talking about that during the game. I just barely caught it, but I didn't realize, that he died there. I heard him talking about his grandpa, but didn't know
now,
that.
I don't know if he died there, but he died resulting from the fall, is what they said.
Really?
Now, unconfirmed, of course, but
that stadium's not that old, right? SoFi? It's not very old at all.
No.
I wonder. It was this Chargers team, LA Chargers.
I believe so.
Tranquil's only been a Chief, what? 2 years?
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably right. I don't know how old SoFi is, but again, kind of takes me back to when I got interested in football to start with. That was back in back in the late '60s when I was running around on the playground, and man, we absolutely loved football back then. Shoot, I remember as a 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, we had a little football team. We even dressed out. I think we played several people back then. Like maybe our local, we had schools that were 8 or 10 miles away. So we got to play them. I don't remember what our record was, but I remember loving to hit people and loving to play the game way back when, and that was what you'd call, I guess, sandlot football. I don't know, but I love football. Yeah.
Did you guys have pads on?
When we played the games, we did. Yeah. I don't know who donated the equipment, but we had helmets, had shoulder pads. I'll tell you about the helmets back in those days. The helmets back in those days were not the nice padded, foam-filled helmets that these kids got today that protect them from stuff. These were helmets that were, I don't know, they had some kind of, just that we call them suspension helmets, but they had string stuff that went around the top of it, and this part was open here where there was just air up there. And shoot, I remember several times getting up, didn't have any idea what it was, but you'd get up and you'd look at white socks and they were red and blue. And, back in those days, we used to call it, you see in colors. Well, that may or may not have been a small concussion.
Back in the concussion days.
Yeah, you bet. But great old times. And, that group of guys pretty much are the group of guys that I'm going to get to spend some time with this weekend. We went all the way through junior high, all the way through high school, 35 or 40 of us. Got to play football all those years. It was a blast. It really was.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I played some tackle football back in the day, but, I remember you guys had me on that Greenfield team. You remember that at all? When I played, I was a little kid.
No.
That was in Greenfield.
Really? Was it like a Mighty Mite game?
Yeah. I had pads on and everything.
I
barely remember.
Really?
Yeah. I used to practice behind the school there in Greenfield. That was where practices were. And I literally remember in a game I'd never played. He put me in like once or twice, and I just remember running towards where everybody else was running. I had no clue what I was doing out there.
That is awesome. I can't believe I can't remember that at all. Was that when you were part of the Christian school there in Greenfield, or what?
No, that was when I was I think it was when I was in Eggerman was on the team.
You would have had to been playing with Lockwood back then because I think you were in the Christian school just that 1 year when you were a kindergartner, right?
Well, remember,
You got there 1 year or 2 years.
I was in the Greenfield school though for at least a year because I stabbed that kid in the arm with a pencil.
Yeah, I do. That was a Greenfield kid, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah, that was Miss Spurrier's class.
Yep. RC. Yeah, that's right. My goodness. I guess it
He
was.
he dared me. Actually, no. Actually, it was you won't stab me in the arm with that pencil.
Well, he should have known even back then that you shouldn't have said anything like that to you because that was just the wrong thing to say.
I don't even hardly remember that year. I remember doing that though. And I remember a turtle biting my finger because I couldn't go to recess. I was in the class by myself, and there was I guess, a baby little snapping turtle. And I stuck my finger down in there, and it bit me. I remember, trying to get that thing off of my finger and slamming it on the desk. Then I wouldn't pick it up. So then Miss Spurrier came in, and the turtle's on the ground, and I just was always in trouble.
You just, and there was, usually it wasn't really anything bad that you did. I mean, maybe it's bad stabbing a kid in the hand with a pencil, but, back then school was a little different anyway. And just, we defended ourselves back then. And yeah, you probably shouldn't have told me when I was a kid that, if you don't quit, I'm going to stab you with a pencil. And, somebody say to me, go ahead, I'm probably going to stick the pen right there.
Kids, don't stab anybody in the arm with.
Don't do that. Bad idea. And both of us would have gotten in trouble.
Well, I got a little something for you. I think you've seen it before, but it sure smells like a Chiefs win to me.
There you go. I like
So we're going to light this puppy up right here.
There you go.
And we're going to do that every single week because so far we're 4-0. I'm ready for it.
4-0.
Smells like a Chiefs win to me. It does actually kind of smell.
That stuff does smell good.
My fire alarm's going to go off now.
Well, so I don't remember, but did you set up the Madden game? Did you play that this week?
Yeah, I did.
The Chargers? Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit about it. It was a completely different game than what was played out in real life. Offense has actually had a great game in Madden. I'll show you a few clips on here, or we'll cut to some clips or whatever. The final score was Chiefs 31, Los Angeles Chargers 20. One interesting thing is defense gave up 20 points in the first half. Kansas City Chiefs defense gave up 20 points in the first half, gave up 0 points in the second half, though. So defense kind of came alive, similar to the game. But Carson Steele, what did he have? I put it down here. Yeah, Carson Steele had 197 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game.
Oh, wow.
So that was completely different.
It was.
Mahomes struggled. He went 12 for 24 with 182 yards and only 1 touchdown, which was, almost the same. I didn't throw a pick with Mahomes in Madden versus, Mahomes threw a pick, but struggled. That defense, even in Madden, I couldn't find anyone open, so I had to scramble a lot. I scrambled with Mahomes for 71 yards. So, I mean, McDuffie and Connor both had 2 picks against Herbert.
I was expecting us to have a pick.
We could have had a couple.
Yeah.
It was Connor, right, that almost picked that one off.
Yeah, that was pick 6. He just missed it.
Yeah.
Right in his hands, but.
Yeah, so Kelce was the leading receiver on Madden, 4 catches for 68 yards, so kind of close.
Very close.
Within 10 yards? Well, he had 70. I put him down here. He had 78 yards in the. Yeah, well, no. 7 receptions for 89 yards in the real game. 4 for 68 in Madden. Mahomes in the real game went 19 for 29, 245, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But Kareem Hunt 14 attempts, 69 yards. Of course, I didn't play with him in Madden. Can't wait to use him. I'm happy to see Kareem Hunt, by the way.
Me too. He looked like the shades of old Kareem Hunt to me.
Well, everyone's like, worried. One, we still have Travis Kelce, who I swear they weren't throwing him the ball because they were trying to get these other receivers going. Well, no need now. Rip the top off with Xavier Worthy, throw it underneath like we always do with Kelce, and now out of the backfield, you got Kareem Hunt either running it or catching it, which he does an even better job at.
Right. Yeah, Kareem Hunt, I was really happy to see that. I really was. I felt so bad for that kid. I felt bad for the Kansas City Chiefs organization whenever that all went down. He went out and he did something stupid, and had, my opinion, had he just admitted to the Hunt family what he did and showed remorse for it, might have been a different story. Didn't the NFL kick him out of 8 or 10 games anyway for that incident when he went? But I don't blame the Hunt family for reacting the way that they did. But to give him a second chance, I'm excited about Kareem Hunt being back. And are we going to miss Rice? Absolutely. Maybe Juju can make up a little bit of it. We'll see what happens in the next week or so. I know there are conversations being had right now between wide receivers out there and Kansas City Chiefs organization. By the way, congratulations to Brett Veach. I understand the game, not this game, but the last game was his 200th victory.
Oh, wow.
And he has done what an outstanding job. Awesome job. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic job. What's sad about Rice, too, is he's probably not going to get suspended this season for what happened. So now, if he does have a season-ending injury, he'll be out this year, and then they'll suspend him next season for what happened for however many games, which I think it's going to be. I mean, everyone keeps saying it's like going to be a minimum of 6 to 8 games. I mean, again, we forget that these kids they're kids. I mean, what's Rice, 21? Maybe not even 21. I don't know. He's probably 21. But I mean, kids, stupid stuff. And then now he gets hurt. Then he's going to be out next season. I really do feel bad for Rice. That's
I do. I feel very bad for the kid. I wish that he had been smarter. Hindsight's always 20/20 for all of us. But the families down in your neck of the woods that he put at risk, he's guilty of that from what I can see. And he's going to pay a price for that. I feel like that there are guys that have done other things that have been reprimanded, have been suspended, etc. in the NFL that, deservedly so too. But, to have to lose this season when he knows that what he's going to be facing next year because of an injury could affect this guy's career. And that's too bad. It really is, because he was a lot of fun to watch. And maybe we're speaking too soon,
I hope so. I hope so. We could. What was it? Stephen A. was talking about. Everyone was, worried about the Chiefs, and Stephen A., who's not typically on the Chiefs side of things, he goes, we're all kind of looking at this maybe a little wrong. The Chiefs are 4-0. Yeah, they're a little banged up, but they're supposed to get Pacheco back by the late season. Supposed to get Hollywood Brown back by the late season. And then he was even talking about, look, if this isn't, confirmed with Rashee Rice, you could get Rashee Rice back by the end of the season. Now you got Kareem Hunt. He said we could be in a dangerous position in the playoffs to be healthy with good wide receivers.
I don't know the status of Hollywood Brown, and I don't know what Pacheco. I don't know if they are. I'm hoping that he's right about either one of them being able to come back this year. I don't know how long it actually takes to heal a bone, and I can't think that they want to jeopardize Isaiah's career at all. So, when you got a guy like Kareem Hunt in the backfield already, please don't rush him back. And we can pick up a receiver. That's not a bad bunch. They keep giving Sky more chances. I don't know. Coach Reed, he's got a huge heart. He really does. I've seen all I want of Sky Moore, but Coach Reed seems to keep giving him chance after chance. So I don't know. But if we can't go down anymore on offense and still have an offense that can produce.
Well, third down and short, they are going to double Kelce. They are going to get one-on-one matchups, and they have got to catch the ball. And that was a right through his hands. Sky Moore. I'm not going to speak ill will because I did last week against Xavier Worthy and I mouthed off, or maybe I should. Maybe Xavier Worthy heard me and he decided to play a little better. All right, then. So, Sky Moore, you're sucking it up. I'm going to need you to step up. You want to be a Chiefs? A chief, not Chiefs. If you want to be a chief, then catch the ball on third and short. Don't let it go through your hands.
Yeah, because these are games that one series of downs can make the difference in a win and a loss. It really is. Because the Chiefs, we've said it for a long time, and I think they do play to their competition. I really do. It's something about their DNA. Do they know how to win? Absolutely. Do they know how to win by a lot? No, evidently not.
Well, we beat the Ravens, who are a very good team. We didn't play well.
By that much?
We beat the Bengals, who I'm not sure if they're a good team or not. I can't quite figure it out. I think they're a good team, but the record certainly doesn't show it. They barely beat a Carolina Panthers team, which I don't know. Carolina Panthers are playing very good. They took out their starting quarterback and put in
Andy Dalton.
That's right, Andy Dalton, and he's tearing it up. So teams like that are dangerous. So I don't know about the Bengals, but I know Atlanta Falcons.
Right city.
Yeah,
Wrong sport.
Atlanta Falcons are a good team, and they just beat the Saints. So I think we have beat, and the Chargers are no blowaway team. I think we have beat.
They weren't healthy. Yeah, in all fairness to the Chargers, what were they missing? Both of their offensive tackles?
And plus Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa. I don't remember the name of the guy who got suspended for the one game or whatever it was. That, the naysayers that say we get all the breaks and we get all the calls. They're the ones that also have the conspiracy theory that he got thrown out of that one game just so the Chiefs would win. But they weren't 100% either. So
haters gonna hate, but we keep winning.
There you go. I believe we've said that before.
Okay, so wanted to do a little something. I got this cool little book, 100 Things Chiefs Fans Should Know Before They Die. The author is Matt Folks, so I will give him credit for his book. But I figured we could do one of these a week. And so I read the first one, and I kind of knew some of it. I didn't know all of it. But the very first one is the Kansas City Chiefs originally were, do you know what team? I bet you do.
Houston Texans.
Well, the Dallas Texans.
Dallas Texans, sorry.
But yes, you are correct. The Dallas Texans. And what league were they in originally?
American Football League.
Yep. And who started up the American Football League? With others, but who was?
Lamar Hunt.
Lamar Hunt? Very well. I figured you would know that. And I knew that they had started off as the Dallas Texans. I did know that they were in the AFL, of course, but I didn't realize that Lamar Hunt was such a integral part of getting what is football together. So all you football fans out there, just remember Lamar Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs, well now, but we're Dallas Texans, got this whole football thing going for y'all.
Yes, they did. Well, that's quite a lineage that Clark Hunt comes from. And that's a
Man,
good family, you know. Got a good testimony in Kansas City. Speaking about that, I hope that they decide to stay in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know what
I
all.
don't understand why the voters, and if you watch the show and you're in that area, please comment on why you voted down that measure to put that, because from what I understand, they didn't ask for more than was already. I mean, they asked for more, but it was just an extension of what people were already paying. They didn't ask for more percentage. That was going away, and they asked to extend it. That's all that they asked for.
It has to be something up there because some of the greatest fans in football live in the Kansas City area. And, you know, I don't know if they're on the Kansas side. I don't know if they're on the Missouri side. And obviously, it doesn't make any difference to us being down here in Southwest Missouri. But I am a little bewildered as to why the Missouri side wouldn't want to keep the Chiefs at Arrowhead, because that has to be a huge moneymaker, if you would, for Johnson. I think it's Johnson County up there. But anyway, I guess we'll.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got nothing else. We'll see you all later.
Yep.
Next show.
Go Chiefs. And Monday night, we'll be watching the Saints.